So there's this website where you can stream anime for free, and it's illegal. I'm not gonna say what the site is because I don't want to give them a shred of promotion, and they get a surprising amount of traffic from YouTubers mentioning them, but considering the stats I'm about to throw down, I don't think I really need to. You already know what this site is, and if you don't, congratulations, you're a better person than most of us. If you need a hint, the site's name involves performing a PG-13 act on anime, and it currently has a Russian URL. I say currently because the site is taken down every 6 months or so like clockwork on account of how illegal it is before being put back up on account of how slimy the people who run it are. Despite that, the website is popular. Insanely popular. In terms of page views, it's currently ranked 220th in the United States and 286th in the world at the time of this writing, which puts it well ahead of Funimation and most other websites that you've heard of. It's more popular than Kotaku and GameSpot, and it's not far behind IGN. I bring that up for two reasons. Firstly, it's an incredible testament to just how popular anime has become. Crunchyroll's numbers in the United States are basically neck and neck with that. They get more unique visitors, but less overall views depending on the month. And MyAnimeList.net has a similarly high page rank at 306 in the US and 483 globally. Crunchyroll and MyAnimeList's numbers are something to be celebrated. They prove that anime has latched on to the mainstream in a big way. They legitimize this movement and the fandom around it, and they prove the viability of anime in the Western market, which is why we're seeing Amazon and Netflix sticking their fingers in the pie and generally fucking everything up. But this other website's numbers, they hurt that legitimacy substantially. They show that, essentially, for every one anime fan who supports the industry, there are two who steal their entertainment. And I mean, I get that there are extenuating circumstances. Some countries just don't have access to some shows due to licensing issues, or you might just not be able to afford it, which isn't a justification, but I mean, I get it. If you're choosing between paying rent and paying for Crunchyroll, you're gonna drop that subscription. I mean, you could still watch ad-supported videos a week late, but I understand not wanting to wait for that conversation. However, if you are pirating because you're short on cash, there's a good chance that what I'm about to tell you will royally piss you off. Hopefully enough that you'll never use this website again. See, the second and main reason I bring up these numbers is that based on them, we can be fairly certain that the scumbags who run this sleazy website full of stolen content are making money hand over greasy, unwashed fist. My friend Lee is an SEO expert who used to be the managing editor of a mid-sized gaming site, so he knows impression and click-based ad rates inside and out. He helped me research and estimate the income of this website, and the numbers he came back with shocked me.
Based on numbers from 15 different sources, including Alexa, Google Analytics, a sessions counter, and ad valuation report, we can average the website's earnings at around $50,000 per day with an overall site value of $200 million. Some estimates, such as Worth of Webs, are as high as $814 million. Unfortunately, it's impossible to find a site's true value without access to private statistics, rendering most posted values online worthless, and the website is hosted in numerous countries using multiple evasion tactics to mask its location. That said, user engagement, overall viewership, rank, bounce rate, and more can be used to calculate semi-accurate statistics. And with that information taken into account, it's without a doubt that the website in question has a minimum earning potential of approximately $22,000 per day, an average of $50,000 per day, and a high of close to $1 million per day, all depending on the ads, click-through rates, etc.
In other words, this website is making $1.5 million a month or $18 million a year. And while that sounds like a lot, it's a conservative estimate, and it's not at all crazy if you look at their view statistics. In the US alone, the site pulls 32 million visits and about 5 million unique visitors a month, totaling 200 million page views. That's only 31% of its global reach, with the next highest country on the list being Japan at 10%, oddly enough, which means that it gets approximately 100 million visits and over 600 million page views every single month. And because of how the site shuts down ad blockers, most of those views are likely to be monetized. But even if these pirates only make a quarter of this estimation, which would be ludicrous considering the sheer number of banner ads that they have, they'd still be pulling over 300 grand a month, or $3 million a year. That's a lot of money to divide up between a few guys who staff their forums and comment sections with volunteer moderators, and man, if you're one of those volunteers, you are getting fucking swindled by your bosses. And this is coming from an ex-game journalist who was paid in exposure. But while they don't pay their staff, or anyone who actually makes the anime they steal, they do apparently pay for advertising. When the site started up their short-lived merch store a few months back, they sent a few big anime YouTubers emails offering merch to give away and an affiliate link with negotiable rates, one of which you can see right here. Obviously, this little scheme didn't turn a profit because the site is now affiliated with a low-quality, unlicensed merchandise store, and their actual merchandise store's URL goes nowhere, but the fact that they had the capital to try it at all is telling. Importing and reselling goods like Nendoroids isn't cheap, and social media marketing isn't either. This isn't direct proof of the site's income, but it is proof that the people in charge are at least treating it like a business and making enough money to justify that. This is not a hobby or passion project for these people. Stealing from the anime industry is their full-time job. And we're just talking about anime here. Remember, they also own sister sites full of stolen J-dramas, cartoons, and manga, all of which are pulling in ad revenue. As someone who spends 60 plus hours a week writing, recording, and editing videos to earn my living, that pisses me off. I can't imagine how somebody who's working a day-to-day regular job feels. And the crazier thing is, whatever these people make is pure profit. Crunchyroll makes a good amount of money from ads and merch sales too, but because they're a legal service, they have to actually pay for the licenses of every anime they stream. Pirates obviously don't have to do that because they steal everything. The people running this site don't even put in the work to make their own fan subs. They steal those from fan sub groups and from Crunchyroll itself too. They also pay a fraction of Crunchyroll's server costs because while they do have their own hosting server, most of their video views are served up through embedded videos from third-party hosts, OpenLoad, Rapid Video, and StreamMango. And these sites, in addition to not costing them anything, are actually another source of revenue. Each of these websites pays uploaders a flat rate of between $20 and $40 for every 10,000 people who download or stream a file, which is why they're the default player option for the site. On their DMCA page, the site claims that this is because they don't upload any videos themselves, but instead host them on YouTube. But considering that all of their videos are actually hosted on the same 4 services, as well as their own beta server, this is patently bullshit. These sites count 3 visits per user every 24 hours, and the pirate site's users average 40 monthly page views, so even if only half of their actual US visitors play a video from one of these services with ad block off, that still works out to 100 million monetized views, valued at 0.4 cents a pop, which would mean that these players alone earn them $400,000 monthly. That's a lot more than it likely costs to keep a website like this running. A quick Who Is search reveals that the pirates use hosting service Cloudflare, whose business-level hosting plan costs $200 a month plus 5 cents for every 10,000 page requests they get. Since they pull about 600 million views each month, the pirates' hosting costs come out to around $3,200 a month. Now, I'm no math guy, but my buddy CJ from What's With Games is. Hey CJ, how much less than 400,000 is 3,200?
A lot less, Geoff.
Thank you, CJ. Wow. A lot less. I mean, with their levels of traffic, they might actually have to pay for enterprise class hosting instead, which could run them an additional $5,000 a month, but that's still a drop in the bucket. They would need to be making less than 1% of their estimated income potential to not be making a profit. At 3 to 4%, they'd be making enough to easily pay the living expenses of every single person who runs the site. I can almost respect the hustle there. I mean, credit where credit is due, these people have figured out how to make as much money as possible while being the laziest pieces of shit on the fucking planet and getting people to volunteer their man hours to help them, but that doesn't make me feel any less pissed off. The only work that these people have done in their lives is build a website, which isn't hard, especially when most of the site is made with templates and HTML code cobbled together from Google searches, and upload videos. Uploading videos is the easiest part of my job, so I don't think it's anywhere near difficult enough to justify how much money these thieves earn. Actually, it wouldn't be difficult enough to justify them earning any money because, again, they don't own the content. I have said the word thieves a lot in this video because it's important to reinforce that point. All of this money comes from theft. These people take content that animators, actors, writers, and other production staff have spent thousands of man hours creating, and they make tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, while some of these animators are living on less than $1,000 a month. For that matter, while most of their users are people too cheap or too poor to pay $7 a month for Crunchyroll, they have the unmitigated gall to serve up to them 6 banner ads and 1 or 2 intrusive pop-ups on every fucking page, which are at best annoying and at worst vectors for malware, all to milk each and every user for a few extra bucks if they can. And if you try to block these ads that could put your computer at risk, they have hooks to stop video playback and berate you for it. I don't know about you, but I find it to be positively fucking infuriating. It says to me that the people who run this website are the lowest of the low. Scumbags among scumbags who only want to make a quick buck. Fuck them. There's a good chance that the people who run this site may deny the claims that I've made in this video, and to be fair, these numbers are just educated estimations. The only concrete info we have is their visitor numbers, and they could be making a lot more or a lot less, again, but really it doesn't matter how much money this site makes. The fact is, they are making more than they should be, which is nothing. Okay, look. While I would like to think that I can convince every single person who watches this to stop pirating and support the anime industry, I've read my comments. I know how many of you use this pirate site and even evangelize for it. While ideally you'd be watching your free anime through Crunchyroll's ad-supported service, I know that a lot of you are too proud for that or too impatient to wait a week or wait through the ads. Or maybe you make the argument that you don't want to support a business model that you see as bad, be that Amazon, Netflix, or Crunchyroll. And in that case, fine, voting with your wallet is part of capitalism, but I'll remind you, so is the idea that you only get to use things that you pay for. Of course, I'm probably going to catch flack for making this video when I just put out 2 other videos about Kakegurui, a show that you can only watch by pirating it. And while I did also read the manga for those videos, which is available legally on Bookwalker, I can see how some people would think that makes this stance hypocritical. Personally, I draw the line on piracy at access. If a content provider isn't letting me watch something that's already available globally and their license on that property is keeping it off a service that would provide simulcasts, I think that's on them. The global market no longer tolerates regional disparity with content like this, and if you refuse to let people who want to pay you for something pay you for it, that's your fault. That said, I do often hear this as an excuse from people outside of North America who might actually have options they're not aware of, so I will leave a list of global anime streaming platforms by region in the doobly-doo to help anyone who's not finding what they want on their country's version of Crunchyroll. At any rate, the point of this video is not to debate whether piracy is justifiable. There are certainly arguments to be made for archiving lost content like Osomatsu-san's first episode, or even mirroring content in case legal services go down. The point is that nobody should be making money off of it, especially not the ludicrous amounts that some of these streaming sites are raking in. So if you are gonna pirate, please just don't use those sites. Don't even ad block on them, because your view stats are going to help them grow and sell more expensive ads anyway. I won't tell you where you can go instead, but let's be real, unless you're a much better person than the rest of us, you already know what your options are. On the other hand, if you do want to help support the people who make things you like, I have good news for you. Firstly, the Animator Dormitory Project has managed to blow past their funding goal of over $19,000 in the time since I made my Amazon and Netflix video back in June. So you guys have already done an incredible job of supporting animators in Japan. The percentage of June's Bookwalker and Crunchyroll earnings that I promised to donate on all of your behalf totaled over $1,200. So all of you basement dwellers made a huge impact on this charity, and I could not be prouder of you. And they are also still accepting donations, so if you want to get in on that, I think that we can push them over $20,000 the day that this video goes up. Or if you like me and you want to support what I do, I've got a Patreon that you can donate to at patreon.com/mothersbasement. It's worth noting that part of the reason I made this video is that it appeared that this website had made their own Patreon page, but looking into it, it appears to just be a scam by somebody else. With ad revenue way down on YouTube, support from fans is becoming the most important way to keep channels like mine running. Anyone who helps out in any capacity here has my deepest gratitude. But ad rev still counts as well, so does anyone who watches, subscribes, or leaves a comment for that matter. So, you know, yeah. If you're interested in more discussion about the anime industry in the West, check out this playlist of videos from myself and other people talking about Amazon and Netflix. Or click here for a video about the broader global impact of anime as a movement. But if this is the last I see of you today, then I'm Geoff Thew, professional shitbag, signing out from my mother's basement.